stepping into perfumery, whether it be designer or niche, what house should you start with? What brand? What label? What calls Uncle Cuba's attention as an individual who has smelled thousands of fragrances? What house can you start with that has a good amount of variety in it for you to deep dive into? If you like a little funk, if you like mass appeal, if you like little thought pocket fragrances, which one of these houses in niche or designer can you start with? Not everybody's a fragrance connoisseur. Most people don't care. Most people don't want to spend over $60 on a fragrance.
How expensive is that?
It runs 120-ish.
Okay, that's unattainable. For the average person who buys cologne, that's unattainable.
I completely understand. There are also some alternatives like interpretation fragrances, clones, dupes, whatever you want to call them. But in this case, I'm going to put you on to 5 houses in both niche and designer for you to start with in your fragrance journey. Let's roll my mother music so I can put you on to 5 niche, 5 designer, 10 different fragrance houses for you to explore and start smelling fantastic.
We're all alone. From the south side, in case you cared, out of all your friends, I want to be Cuba.
Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. This your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. Let's start with a designer house. It has versatility, lineage, and it has budget options for you to purchase on the gray market as well as in major department stores or even the bougiest of bouge, of a Bergdorf or a Neiman or something along that space. If you're rocking an Amex Gold or Platinum, that you can just do a little swipe bitch, and that's the house of Chanel. Chanel has a vast variety of different scent profiles ranging from funky ouds that not many people will tolerate to the super duper mass appeal Bleu de Chanel option. All the way down to like a Coromandel, which a little bit aggressive, rough, slightly elderly, but on some skins it smells spectacular like on mine. Massive amount of versatility. What a Chanel Boy is another one that I need to get in my stash. Chanel Edition Blanche for that summertime vibe citrusy flow. For the ladies, the traditional number 5 or Chance. The options are endless. It's a very strong designer house that has amazing perfumers behind it, and I think it's a wonderful house for you to start, and you can continue with that house. If you're like very dedicated and focused and loyal to a house, you can grow your passion within the house and see some really fly options. Now let's jump to niche. One of the houses lately that I've been absolutely enjoying, I mean it hits all ends of the gamut, is Terence Hughes. Ranging from fragrances that are like dirty slut all the way to hard candy elixir. You got oud, you got stinky, you have amazing performance, you got a lot of creativity behind it, and the house just offers a ton of versatility, and I have yet to find one that is really like whack. They're all hitters. In the niche house, the perfumer cares. He really puts a lot of thought process into these fragrances. He really comes with a super duper professional nose. He's not just passing the buck to somebody else, at least that I know of. And this is just the tip of the iceberg on some of the fragrances that they have, and they have a nice catalog of them. So if you want to get not only into the fragrance space, but like if you know type joint, Terence Hughes is a great starting point in the niche space. Next one. In the designer space, I like Roberto Cavalli. A lot of options. For me in particular, I would tell people, and I've mentioned it in other videos, the Wombo line. I think it's 5 or 6 different scent profiles, all completely different from each other, with all super sexy scent profiles that won't break the bank. But outside of the Wombo line, they have options for days. It definitely caters more to the mass appeal scent profile, which is what 99% of the people are looking for in the fragrance space. It's rare that somebody jumps into the fragrance scene like, yo, I'm looking for something extra grajo and funky. Nobody jumps into the fragrance scene like, can I get the fragrance that smells like I just did 4 full court games of basketball without taking a shower, please? That one, thank you. Never happened. For me, the Roberto Cavalli line, particularly the Wombo line, is a hidden gem that still should get a lot more attention than it does. Very solid, very affordable, very sexy. Next one. Variety, niche, deep, sexy, bright options, rich is the house of Nishani. One of my favorite houses in the niche space, and they are just incredible. Barbershop type fragrances, woody, coconut, burning bush type fragrances, sweet, vanillic, creamy, intense, deep, warm, and rich, sexy fragrances. They just hit all gamuts. Not an inexpensive fragrance. A lot of the niche fragrances in this list are going to be expensive, but if you're dipping into the niche space, you gotta expect to pay a little bit more than some of the designer fragrances and might have a little bit more difficulty in buying them, as I think only luxury department stores like that carry these type of scent profiles. But Nishani offers a wide variety. I highly recommend you guys check it out, Google it, sample it, buy some decants, and really try at least 3 or 4 of the fragrances. Watch other content creators as well as myself and get to see what other people think about some similar fragrances in that space. But for me, Nishani is an amazing house to start your niche journey in. Next one. This house hits Givenchy. Catalog of Givenchy fragrances for both men and women. I mean, you can remember throwbacks like the Pie line to the most recent gentleman lines that are super popular, like the Parfums Reserve Privé joint, which is a delicious whiskey-based fragrance. An amazing lineup. I mean, tons of variety that Givenchy can offer. If you're brand loyal and want to stay in the designer space, Givenchy offers everything that you need for you and your significant other. So definitely give them a look into, because I enjoy them. Next one. If you really want to go insane, some rich Middle Eastern punchy performance monsters, that would be the house of Amouage. Another one, it's an incredible house. A lot of power, a lot of oody, peppery, punchy, bold scent profile, performance beast fragrances that really aren't a starting point in the niche space. It's kind of you're jumping head first. I know how to swim. You don't gotta wait for your drunk uncle drinking a bunch of Budweisers pushing you into 8 feet when you're only 5 years old and then forcing you how to learn how to swim. With amazing options like Reflection Man, which is bright, sexy, fresh, peppery, and musky, to the Middle Eastern royalty smells of Jubilation 25. These are night and day that I will wear night and day. Bold, rich, powerhouse fragrances. We're talking about 10-hour plus on each of these fragrances performance-wise on your skin. God forbid you spray them on an article of clothing. Let's be clear, Tide and OxyClean is no match for these puppies. Next one. This one is a big boy in the designer space. I'm talking about options, pan options, pan options. That's the house of Dior. Dior can get very basic bitches. Dior can get ultra luxury as well. In the fragrance space, they are a monster. In the beauty space, they're a monster. From the Dior Homme Darkness to the Dior Homme Cologne line, to the throwback legend that most ladies had back in the day, that Dior Hypnotic that looks like half a heart, half an apple. J'adore that looks like a wild little butt plug. Oud Ispahan for you stinky folks. You can go $40 or you can go $400. Choice is yours, but they have choices, lineage, reputation, perfumers, beast of a designer house. One of the best, if not the best. Next one. This next house I think is a good entry space. Most of the fragrances are in a safe zone that still offer rich, sexy luxury, and that's the house of Parfums de Mer. Another one of my favorite houses in that space, offer mass appeal, sexiness, Middle Eastern vibes, spicy, dark, rich, and just sexy, sexy, sexy. Have I mentioned that they're sexy? With monsters like Leighton and Carlisle to freshies like Settley and Greenleaf. You want nutty? Pause.
Oh, no. The way you said it was crazy.
They got nutty, musky, spicy, rich, cardamom, tonka. Do you know what that is? Do you care what it is? No. How about I just mention this? Did I mention sexy? Not inexpensive fragrances at all, but readily available on the gray market. A few department stores carry them across the country. A lot of gray market websites like a Fragrance Buy or a Max Aroma or a Fragrance X or any of these other websites may carry them at a discounted price. So still step into the niche space, saving a little bit of bread, and trust me, that is a great starting point. Next one. And finally, in the designer space, I gotta throw Yves Saint Laurent in there, including my personal favorite, which everybody knows at this point, Yves Saint Laurent Tuxedo, which is more of their private blend, but I'll rock a L'Homme all day, every day. Love the house. That house personally speaks to me. You got the L'Homme, you got the La Nuit de L'Homme, some people like the Bleu Electrique, you got the Tuxedo, you got the Saharine if you like to smell like a baby's ass, you got Bon, and you got the little fuckboy joints like the Y line. Mass appeal, heavy hitters, great designer house to definitely spread your wings in, especially when you start getting into that private line. Ooh, baby. And finally, this was a very tough one, but I was thinking like somebody getting into the space and not looking to spend a grip of money, as some of these other niche brands are very expensive, but still want that luxury and that powerhouse scent profile. I gotta give it to the house of Mancera. Mancera is just affordable scent profiles with a ton of variety, like the Manceras and the Montals, which kind of go hand in hand inadvertently. I can intertwine between those two and affordability, profiles, and variety. Now, I can't say that there aren't a bunch others in the niche space that I would recommend, like Fragrance Du Bois or Xerjoff, but I think price point wise, Mancera offers a ton of performance, a lot of variety, great scent profiles, pretty looking bottles, and a well-balanced repertoire plethora of fragrances in that space. So I think if you're going to jump into the space, since I've already offered you like $20,000 worth of niche fragrances, Mancera would be an amazing entry point for your wallet and scent profile. Well, gentlemen and ladies, the 6% of you who watch me, I hope this niche and designer brand list was helpful to you. Put in the comments below what your favorite niche or designer brand is to start off with, if you would recommend that to somebody. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow any of my other channels, and I'll see y'all snitches next time. You know who it is, biggest in the game. Smooches.
What's fresh? Who's best? Wanna know who's gonna pass the test? For the fly gun holder, money folder, motor roller, start attack when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.